What's up, guys? I'm Anthony. This is Ira. We are the On Blast podcast, and we are here from a new studio. We're trying something out. We're very excited for you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you follow and subscribe. Smash that notification bell. I think it is on YouTube. And what's the deal with the TikTok? You want people on TikTok, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's supposed to be making fun of us on OB TikTok.
OB podcast on TikTok. You'll find us. And you can see some videos of Ira driving in the car. And
oh no!
Oh yes. Yes, we did post those. We did.
Sunday.
Oh no, we didn't post those. Those were bad. We're not posting those. Those are fucking scary. I refuse to post those. Not even I wanted to look at those.
Oh, you don't know what I was saying, Whitney Houston?
Yes, that was very bad. Ira was entertaining us in the car, but
I was stuck in traffic.
He was. So we are back. We're on blast. We're happy to be back. We're going to be moving to, I think once a month we're going to be doing podcasts.
Yeah, we'll be doing once a month. You know, we'll still have our hour-long sessions, and we'll have our little cuts in between and everything, our little promos.
Yeah. It's just obviously life is busy. Life is busy.
Life.
Yeah, life is busy for everybody, and that's not lost on us. So, you know, obviously with the launch of Whiteboard Worthy, I am exceptionally busy right now. You're taking on big boy promotions over at work, trying to build a team and build something sustainable that has the longevity you need to be a good business.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, it's been a steady course. It's had its ups and downs, and it's had a lot of downs, had a lot of ups. But one thing is, I'm still running through the walls. I'm the last man standing in my store.
What is the secret? What is the secret to just running through the wall?
Oh, Rice Krispie treats.
Okay, so if you guys are struggling, just scarf down like half a dozen Rice Krispies.
That'll be good, sufficient. And maybe like 5 shots of pre-workout.
That's why we love you, Ira. So how have you been? I'm curious. It's been a while since we met, guys. I mean, right? It's been well over a month.
So, how have I been? I've been great.
Good.
You know, every day's getting better, little by little.
Okay.
You know, things I've been working on, it's all falling in line, journaling, all that stuff.
You've been doing the journaling?
No. Yes.
But you mean to do the journaling?
No.
Yes. You just have the journal?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Yes, the journal is journaling.
I hope the journal's not journaling.
No, the journal's journaling, because I'm just a vessel.
Yeah. I did some journaling last night. For anyone that doesn't know, my journal is my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is totally my life. It is my blueprint to everything I do. I write down my feelings. I write down my game plan. I write down my current plans.
And nonsense.
And there's a ton of nonsense at no additional cost, of course. So when I pop off, everyone can flip through those pages and see what they think.
I think I might get shrined and shrouded and kind of just dropped in with it.
Yeah, what was I writing about last night? I'll share with you guys. I was writing about youth and the elderly.
Okay.
That's been a big thing for me the last few months. I look at the kids and I really the being young is just such an incredible time of your life, and it's hard because as a kid you don't realize that. No,
you definitely don't.
Until you're a little older, how fine this time is. And you really have to use it so wisely, especially think when you're 18, you need to decide about college, you graduate, you do all these things. So I've been thinking about, what's that? Well, maybe we have different plans, some of us, at 18. I know I wasn't thinking about college at 18, so. No. Fucking your face. Thanks, Ira. Thanks for having my back.
I definitely got your back. It was just that wasn't my plan. At 18, I didn't have a fucking clue what was going on.
And that's my point. No one knows what's going on. I mean, who really says at 18, I've got it figured out? Do people do that? Honestly, do you know people that are like that? They're just programmed. They got it. They understand.
They think they're programmed and they got it, but when you actually dive into it, then they have that realization oh shit, I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, so then you're 25, 26, you're in your 20s and you're oh shit, everything I thought I had, I don't know anything. So I've been writing a lot about that because I've been thinking about maybe going back to school, which is something I've been kicking around a lot, to go back for early childhood development. I love...
dude, you would be great in that.
Oh, I love it. I think kids are fucking fantastic. And we have to do a better job at preserving children. And I was writing about it last night. As adults, sometimes we let what we have going on affect our kids. I don't have kids, all right? So I'm just speaking purely from opinion, right? But I whether it be good or bad, I think we let that affect our kids. And if it's good, great. But if it's bad, I think we really have to try our damnedest to not let any of that toxic shit bleed in.
I agree to a point.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of the bad shit that does happen in our lives, it primes us as adults.
Yeah.
So
it does.
If you're constantly getting in the way of, mistakes and downfalls that your child may go through, they're not going to learn much. And that was actually a hard realization for me because, I do have kids.
Yeah.
And, along with them growing and learning them, there comes a time, when you love your kids, you want a helicopter. You don't want to have anything bad happen.
Of course.
But, you can limit it as much as it is, but they need to learn things too.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly doing everything for them, and if everything's handed to them, they really don't learn much.
And
this is actually something that I've been really thinking about a lot lately.
Yeah.
Because I've been working around a lot of interviews with young men and women, and it's such a difference from how they grew up and the things they know and don't know, as opposed to what I do know and what I learned at that age.
Yeah.
And I have to step myself back a little bit and put myself in their shoes, because here we are, 2021 going into 22.
That's crazy.
And I'm talking about when I was their age, it was the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it's we didn't have smart everything. We didn't have everything handed to us. It wasn't at the ready. It wasn't self-serving vending machines.
Yeah.
And when it comes to something that they don't know, automatically inside, I'll just be like, well, how the hell do you not know? And then I have to really think about it, oh, well, that makes sense, because they didn't grow up with any of that.
Yeah.
And the way the world has been, shaping itself to different cultures, and that, they're being exposed to a lot more things that we didn't.
Yeah.
Or, things have become more acceptable moving forward. So they're receiving it in a different aspect as we did, because, there was a lot of controversy behind, things that were not so much approved of, and it's just such a weird realization, just how, the time
crazy.
shift has changed overall culture and growth. But it does. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's something as a grown adult, almost 40 years old, I need to adapt to, because that's not going to adapt to me.
A case in point, I would never go as far as, protecting your child from being exposed to the real world. I see it a lot, and again, I tread lightly here because I'm not a parent. I'm not. It doesn't make the same sense to me. I speak as a single 26-year-old man, right? So you can only assume the kind of feedback you'll get from that standpoint. But you have to let your kids fail. You can't coddle them and expect the world to just be perfect, because one day they're going to realize this little fishbowl they've been living in.
It turns into a gigantic ocean with a lot of sharks.
Yeah, so I've been journaling about kids and the elderly. We got to protect our old people. And I was looking at my grandma last night, and I was like, I got to protect you. You're my grandma.
Dude, she's going to be protecting everybody in the house.
But
she's a force to be reckoned with, man.
She is, but keep in mind, the kids they're our future.
Yeah.
We're going to be old one day, and they're going to be the ones that are presidents or politicians or artists or business people. We have to protect them. So I've been journaling a lot about that. I wrote quite a few pages about that last night.
So I got a really good question for you.
What's up?
So last week, Anthony went on a trip all the way out to Joshua Tree in California.
Joshua Tree, California.
Oh, man. I've been, I followed the journey the whole way, dude, if you have never experienced it, you need to put it on your bucket list. I felt like I was there, living vicariously through him. And it was the most amazing thing, because he had this Airbnb. It was a bus, literally in the middle of the fucking desert. There was nothing.
Middle of the desert.
Nothing. Just rocks, sand, and maybe a vulture flying, screeching, waiting for him.
We had a couple coyotes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we had a couple coyotes, but Ira, that, when I say people have to take risks, I try to live that, right? I can't walk around telling everyone to do shit they don't like that makes them uncomfortable unless I'm willing to do it. So I always do it. Joshua Tree, that thought alone was like paralyzing. The sun went down below the mountains, and it is utter darkness. You are totally with yourself, your thoughts, everything. And I love that because it scares the living shit out of me. It scares me to no end. And that's how I get better, right?
The one thing I wanted to experience so bad is just like the absolute quietness. Because the thing is, though, is we don't even realize how loud our world really is. And I'm not talking about just cars. I'm talking about like electricity signals going through the air. Like, we pick that up. Yeah. And in our brains, that resonates. But if you go in a place like Joshua Tree where it's completely just barren desert, like, you're going to know absolute fucking silence. Oh. And it's like, that's something I always want to, experience for a number of reasons. One of them, case in point, is because it gets loud in my fucking head, and when it gets too loud, I take my hearing aids out, and it kind of dulls it down. Now, if I can take them out and be completely deaf in the middle of a desert when the sun's going down and the coyotes are howling, dude, that would be such a fucking experience. I'm so goddamn jealous, man.
Don't be jealous. Your time will come one day. I am envious of your trip. No. I think anyone should take those trips. Take those solo trips. Don't bring anyone with you. Anyone you bring, the person you love the most in the world is fucking baggage. It's baggage. Bring yourself. You got enough baggage.
That's where you go for yourself.
Yes. No, but
you went there for yourself. I would go there 100% for myself to clear my thoughts and get with my thoughts and get in touch with myself.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't do that, and I practice it and I preach it and I do it because I love to spend that time with myself to learn who I am, and I'm 26. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's been a fucking journey to know, to feel certain in my skin who I am, and those trips are what make me get to that point. They do something and to my brain that like just totally, it just brings me back. It does. It brings me back. I went out there. I journaled. I seen Nina and Matt. I love Nina and Matt. They're wonderful. I wish I met Matt sooner. This is Nina's boyfriend. For anyone that doesn't know, Nina is Whiteboard Worthy's artistic director. She handles everything creative, pretty much, besides the man behind the camera currently, Mr. Carter McCanney with McCanney Media, who's been so kind to offer his services for the podcast. But yeah, I got to see Nina and Matt. We went to a comedy show.
What kind of comedy show?
Well, I can tell you they roasted me. I know that much. Yes, I got roasted. I got roasted by a guy that looked like Jesus. I was sitting there and I had my feet up on the stage, and he walks over and he was talking about being gay.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, whatever, that's cool. And he walks over and he kicks my feet and he goes, "What about you, Mr. Daytona? Do you know who you are?" I looked at this guy. I was like, I don't know. I did before you asked me. Now I'm a little confused. But yeah, we went to the comedy show. That was in Santa Monica. You think Joshua Tree is beautiful? Santa Monica is just truly where the life is.
Out. Like, the only place I've been was Jersey and Florida, and maybe a few states in between. But like nothing like
out there.
Yeah. Luckily I'm having my first real life vacation coming up in a couple weeks. I'm excited for that.
Where are you going?
Oh, we're going to Florida.
Florida? Going to hang with some alligators and crocodiles.
I did the alligators and crocodiles. Now we're going to do SeaWorld. We call it.
So yeah, back to the alligators.
No, I'm forbidden to be with the alligators because Jess found out about me going and jumping the fence and grabbing a 13-foot alligator's tail and trying to drag it.
I was just going to say, are you like that kid that jumped into the gorilla's pen or whatever at the Bronx Zoo and it like dragged
I was 100% that same kid. That wasn't me.
Watch out
for the audiences. That wasn't me that went into the gorilla pen. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. Could you imagine? It's like, I didn't realize we were in the company of a legend.
The gorilla would have just put his arm around me like, "What's up, son?" And I'm like, "Daddy."
Ira's so weird. Ira's so weird.
Gorillas are awesome. Like, if they're cool with you, they're cool with you.
I was just looking at a trip to, not soon, but I was looking at some Airbnbs in Bali. Turns out they've got tigers.
Yes.
Gorillas. Anything that could pretty much kill you pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So my mom said I probably shouldn't go, but as soon as she said tigers, I was like, I'm going. Oh, I have to now.
I mean, Bali, that's like the spot out there.
I want to. I don't mean to derail us. Have you been keeping up in the news with that girl that went missing?
I honestly, I made it a complete point to stop watching the news. I haven't done the news in well over a year and a half.
I forgot her name, but I just want to bring that up. I really hope they get to the bottom of whatever's going on there. I don't usually follow certain cases like that, and since this case where the boyfriend and the girlfriend, there's a lot of other cases that are popping up now with travelers mainly out in these deserts and places I just came back from, right, where there's stalkers and people are going missing. And I think that's why it shook me, because I just got back from Joshua Tree, and I'm like, you know, I had a weird run-in while I was out there with something I don't really care too much to elaborate on, but needless to say, I'm a grown man. I can pretty much handle my own.
Right.
But in the middle of the desert, you know, you have to display some kind of situational awareness. You have to be aware of what's going on. But my point is, I hope they get to the bottom of whatever happened with that girl, whether it be good, bad, indifferent, or whatever. I hope they do. I think, and anyone that travels, if you're traveling solo, you have to be careful. You have to be careful.
Yeah. You
have to. You're a big guy, but you're no match up against a gun, you know?
Yeah, I mean, dude, nobody's a match against a gun.
It's a crazy world, and, you know, that really shook me, and I wanted to bring that up because it really did bother me. It's like, man, you know, you just don't know.
And I mean, especially like in a barren place, like there's no safety really. And what I mean by safety, you don't have, you know, possible witnesses. You don't have the safety of, you know, a store or a home front that, you know, you could run to if you got hurt, or, you know, you're crawling for dear life, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You know, so when you're there, or when you're in a foreign land and you don't know where you're at, you know, you don't even know where to turn to.
I'm a grown man. I was shook out there. There was one night I had something going on, and I went and stood on top of the bus with my miner's light on my head, and I stood on top of the bus like, you know, I was a little paranoid, but I had to be. It's fucking scary. You're in the middle of the desert. There's no one for miles, Ira. I could call you, but you're on the East Coast. You can't help me, you know?
I'd find a way to locate you.
Well, everyone knew where I was, but it was, you know, was I going to be...
Yeah, they might know where you are, but they don't know how to find you the way I do.
Well, yeah, was I going to be toast by the time you got to me, too, you know? So, yeah, I don't mean to you know, sidestep a little bit, but, yeah, that was an incredible trip. I do encourage absolutely everyone to do that kind of shit. Not just travel, but do the things that really make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, but most of all, just enjoy your fucking life. You only have one to live.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something I keep having to tell myself every day. You know, and it's like, because you know how I get. I get so focused into work, I get so focused in on the things that I'm doing that I forget to enjoy myself. I forget to, you know, put myself in front of, you know, some things that I should to bring some enjoyment to my life. But it's like, I just get so driven to either complete a goal or the challenge that's presented. I just cannot waver until I've decimated it.
Yeah, you've got tunnel vision. And believe it or not, I in my heart, I believe a lot of people are like that. And they become so fixated on whether or not it's achieving a goal of some kind, or just kind of fixated on their daily routine. This is their dynamic. I wake up at this time, I get my coffee here, I go here. And people become so fixated on that, but you have to do those things that kind of break up that monotony, you know?
So, yeah, like you throw a monkey wrench in my gears in my
that.
morning. Oh, man,
Ira, you've been calling me 7:30 in the morning the last week or so. I'm looking at my phone cockeyed like this.
Because I used to get you then.
I know, but sometimes I didn't go to sleep, so I'm still awake and you do catch me. But since the launch, I've been trying to go to
now
sleep.
That we put that in perspective, I'll let you sleep.
I've been trying to catch my Z's. They say sleep is good for you. I believe what they say. I try to take their advice.
Well, I mean, I've been working on my sleep too. I mean, it's been getting better.
I seen you awake the other night around midnight.
Dude, the last couple of days, I've been like, and it was more so. It was just, you know, the changes that have been going on at work. Like they were pretty big. They were big changes, you know. So when you have changes in your life like that, and you're kind of like hanging on the edge on something, it makes it harder for me to fall asleep, you know, because I just can't shut it off and that. So, but I do get like an hour or two when I'm like that. But
why do you think that's because sometimes when there's a lot in motion, right? Nothing is certain at the moment.
Yep.
when things are in motion, why do we like? Do you get like that? You obviously keeps you up at night, right?
Yeah.
Why is that? Any idea?
That's one thing I really haven't completely figured out, for myself, and I'm gonna keep it on myself.
Yeah.
Thoughts just resonate over and over and over and over and over and over.
So you're just running through like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just running through it, and it's like, it's like a chainsaw that doesn't run out of gas.
Just keeps going.
Yeah, dude, the fucking thing doesn't stop.
No, this isn't my first rodeo with you, buddy. I understand. I'm very well aware. I am accustomed to it, but that's why I think it's important again to do those things that break up that everyday dynamic, because it's a dynamic. Everything we do is just this way we go about things, and I had it. I did the job, I did the relationship, and I love that. I do. I got nothing against anyone that does that. You got your thing that works, right? Don't fix something that's not broken. But for me, that doesn't work. I had to break up that shit.
I made some small changes, as far as like to repair my sleep cycle, and it got really damn good.
Yeah.
And then change happened, so I have to adapt to the change, and now that change has happened, I can probably fall back asleep.
Yeah, you're gonna sleep tonight?
I hope.
I hope you get some sleep too.
Yeah, if the weasels will let me sleep.
I don't think I'll get any sleep tonight. I was dealing with something before we hopped in here.
Well, considering that we launched Whiteboard Worthy on September 1st,
We did.
where are we at?
Man.
Let's do a recap of getting there.
I don't even know that, like, it just happened so fast.
It did, but it didn't.
I did everything I could to control the journey of getting to Whiteboard Worthy, right? And I was fixated on it. I was like, September 1st, I was like, everything for the last year and a half has just been September 1st, September 1st, September 1st, everything. And I really tried everything in my power to not stress, let the cards fall where they had to, because by nature, I want to control everything.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, though, is you did, and you controlled it to a point where it's just, there's no more nothing to control. It's just now it's like you gotta let the boat kind of coast. And
well, yeah, exactly. But when I mean control, like, when I start to like love something and it's I want it to work, and I think a lot of people do this. I'm totally obsessed, over the top. I need it to work, so I start getting really controlling, like unhealthy, and I know that about myself. So what did I do? I stopped controlling everything. I did the things that I knew were proven. Certain things were strategies. Certain things were a way of doing business, and I knew they worked. It was just a matter of doing them. You follow up, whatever. But I literally just said, "Aunt, the universe is going to do what it wants to do. If it's not going to work, don't force it." And I didn't.
That was always one of my issues, and I always was trying to fit that round peg in a square hole.
It's common because we want it so fucking bad. It doesn't. The new job or the new contract or the first sale. You want it so bad, and you're gonna drill it and drill it and drill it. But that's not always the answer. Sometimes it's grind time, but that's
Just
not
be what's gonna be.
Yeah, you have to let it be what it's gonna be. So we launched, and you would think like I think people look at me now like, oh, you made it, Aunt. Right? That's how people look at me when I'm talking to them, and they're fucking so wrong. I did not make it.
Like, I mean, when you launch a business, like, you haven't made it until you really fucking made it. Like, launching a business, that's the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, getting there is the prep.
Yeah, it's this business it's in its infancy. It's gonna be in its infancy for the next decade. Seriously. Until I can say confidently, we did it. We did it.
Right.
I mean, a year or two you're gonna tell, because you'll know where you're at with things, but the next decade you can say without a shadow of a doubt you made it. So we launched, and when we launched, I honestly, you know what I did, right? I spent the night crying. I cried like a little sissy.
I see. I let you say it. I wasn't gonna bring that up.
I cried my little heart out. I couldn't even tell you why I was crying.
But dude, you were so fucking excited.
Yeah, I was so overwhelmed. We didn't get 5,000 sales and I'm a millionaire and I shot off the Joshua Tree, right? That's not how that worked. But we are running a business and it takes so much time and you just need to give it your energy, and it's really remarkable what it's doing and what it's capable of doing. And I think we're in a really good position to make a big impact in a huge way.
Yeah, you just gotta let it keep shaping and molding and doing its thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're wearing a full
Absolutely.
fucking getup. Dude, I love this shirt. This thing is great. This is so comfortable.
I love
This is one of my other favorites.
Oh yeah, so check it out. Got
Yeah.
a little 3-eyed.
Yeah, I like that. Everyone seems to like that little symbol. I don't know what it is.
So what that resonated with me is, and where I thought you might have gotten the idea from, but I'm wrong. But it reminds me of the fish Blinky from The Simpsons. It was the radioactive fish that they found in Mr. Burns' river or the lake or whatever, and Bart caught it, and then they were supposed to eat it.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Ira. Nina never gave me a synopsis on those smiley faces, so I'm not entirely sure. They might be from The Simpsons. We're gonna have to phone.
Didn't steal trademark. It's not the same fish.
We try to put a patent on it, and The Simpsons is like, can't do that.
Oh, please don't bring up The Simpsons anymore. I made a mistake bringing it up. I hear it in my sleep.
The Simpsons is a hell of a thing, but yeah, Whiteboard Worthy is it's been fun. It's I think, you know, we're donating to charity. We're doing the podcast, which I hope from the bottom of my heart people find the podcast to offer even a little piece of insight, or you know, we try to be as informative as possible.
In our past episodes, dude, we've been through a lot. I mean, we've been doing this for almost a year now.
I know.
We'll be coming up on a year soon.
I know.
And it's like, it literally feels like we just started doing On Blast.
I know.
You know, and I remember when we first started, dude, we were going through so much shit. Like, and that's what that's what compelled us to do this.
I don't remember because I was so torn up with my own shit. But we were, gonna say, not in a position to be sitting here doing a podcast. We were not in a position, but we said, let's do it. We feel really good about this. I mean, we talk every fucking day, so it didn't matter. You know, but a year is bizarre because believe it or not, a lot of podcasts started during the COVID.
Yeah.
But not a lot of podcasts are still around. Right? People had to go back to work. People had their obligations, and
you've been doing it while building a business. I've been doing it while working full time, and kids, and home, and wife, and everything.
I think I'm busy. You're busy. You got the kids. You got the wife. It's a lot of commitment. People don't realize, you know, it's a lot to juggle, and I appreciate that because you still drive your ass the hell out here for this podcast that we do, and it's really. It's not like we gain anything other than it being a hobby, and we like to talk about it, and we like to do this.
We just don't shut up, so why not put it to good use?
Speak for yourself, Ira. Leave me alone.
Look, I put you in a position to keep talking, so.
But yeah, that's crazy, man. A year. And now we're at the point with the podcast where we want to go bigger.
So we actually passed another anniversary.
Oh, what?
2 days ago.
My birthday.
And one day before that,
hallelujah. What was before that? Don't put me on blast here.
We're on blast here, Anthony. So the 17th of September in 2018 was the day that I started working for you.
Oh my God. Wow. Oh yeah, okay. That makes sense, yes. That was, wow. Think how long ago that fucking was.
Oh my God, dude. It was only 3 years, but like, it just seems so much longer. But then again, it doesn't even seem like 3 years.
I hope people know the feeling of like when you look at someone and you're just like, this person's solid, you know?
Yeah.
You ever just like look at someone and you're just like in your heart, your soul, you know this person is solid. That, I looked at you and I knew it. I knew it, and here, to this day, you haven't proven me wrong yet. I mean, you are still here and I feel just as good about you as day one. And you need to surround yourself with more people that believe in you like that, and you need to believe in them likewise, you know?
Yeah.
But that's a huge milestone for you. I know it is. So you know, we won't kick that away. Give me a hug. Come on, big guy. Bring it in. So yeah, 26. I keep telling people, I said it to Nick the other day, I said, you know, Nick, you're a lot closer to 30 than you are 20 now.
Dude, his brain must have exploded.
Yeah, because his birthday's on the 12th, And every year we get together for our birthdays. It's just something we've always done. So he was pretty pissed off about that. So we're out. We grabbed some drinks the other night. You wouldn't believe what Nick had to remind me of. Nick goes, "Hey, guess what? You're a lot closer to 30 than you are 20 now." So of course, thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
I gave up even saying I'm 39. People just don't get it, so I just say 40.
Ira, you found a fountain of youth, man. You better start selling that like a makeup product.
Maybe it's Maybelline, right?
Or is that the kangaroo?
No, I'm getting farther away from my original point.
Right, so my fountain of youth, keep in mind where I spent the rest of most of my life.
You're right.
And that's the
So is that
part.
the secret?
I don't know, because dude, you go in there are people like, dude, they come out, they only do a few years and they come out looking like they're 60.
Yeah. Wow.
Well,
I mean, it's like they just aged like 10 times quicker. I guess I was preserved in ice or something.
Yeah, it's like we put you in some formaldehyde and
Like I've come to accept it, like, because I don't stop hearing about it.
Yeah.
Like when I'm at work, I mean, women, young, old, like they all think I'm in my late 20s, maybe 30s. But when I tell them out with them, they're like, no way. So I have to literally pull out my license sometimes.
It's too bad you weren't with me the other night at the bar. I had a couple 60-year-olds hitting on me.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. It's either guys hitting on me or 60-year-old women.
I don't know what it is. I just don't know. And I got nothing against it. You want to be what you want to be.
You got the mojo.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. Don't bother me none. But yeah, we got some drinks, me and Nick. Yeah,
Another birthday, man. I mean, you can't say much about it. It's cool. It's the one day a year where everyone gets to tell you how wonderful you are.
and I had to water my little ego flower a little bit. So I was more than happy to take all the compliments. I was like, yes, give me more. The day was ending. I was like, I haven't gotten enough compliments today.
Then also tell them about your car ride with your hair flapping in the breeze, singing country music.
Oh, well, I was out in Joshua Tree, right?
No, you were driving on her birthday.
You said something about that, and I didn't understand it. Did you see me driving or something?
Yes, it was on your Snapchat.
Oh.
Because you were singing along, and you were
I
as hell.
was singing Olé by Bouncing Souls.
Oh, like I didn't put the volume on.
Olé, 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 olé. Olé. I'll save you guys the trouble, but look up the song Olé by Bouncing Souls. I know every single word to it. I've been saying it in well over a decade. But if you have any respect for yourself, you will look up that song.
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah, so I was doing that. I got to see Sin City out in Vegas when I went to see Joshua Tree. Yeah. I flew into Las Vegas. That was really cool. And I drove 3 hours through the Mojave Desert.
Oh, you never told me you found a scorpion.
No, I did not find a scorpion, and luckily one did not find me.
I would have told you to catch it for me.
And do what with it?
I don't know.
Don't people eat those to get drunk? They put them in vodka or something? Or tequila?
Tequila.
Tequila.
Agave tequila.
Agave tequila.
Well, they actually, the worm goes in the tequila.
Oh,
They've done it with
worm.
scorpions. They've done it with snakes.
Yeah, isn't that more of like a southern thing?
I believe so. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go to Texas now and find out.
Hey, have you ever tried absinthe?
No, what's that?
That's that green alcohol liquor that you put over sugar cubes and you
God.
get freaking wasted.
Yeah, but I'm not a big drinker because every time I drink, I wake up the next day and I'm sick for a week.
I don't know what it is. I wake up.
I can't even argue with that because it's like I used to drink my ass off. Now it's like
I was drinking the same amount as right around that
I
time.
have one shot and I am ready to puke now. Like I just can't drink. I just won't.
When I was in Manhattan, I got into a really weird dynamic.
The Vanilla Gorilla.
Well, aside from Vanilla Gorilla, I was addicted to that place. You ever find yourself in Manhattan, Vanilla Gorilla? Don't worry, Carter. We're gonna go there one day. Well, I was in Manhattan. I got into the idea of I made it, right? I'm in the Big Apple.
Oh,
I made
I remember
it,
those
baby.
days.
I got the big job. I'm in that Big Apple. We go out to lunch. I go home. It's a great setup. So I started going home and just crushing bottles of Jack.
Oh, I remember that.
Like handles.
I was doing the same thing.
Yeah,
I was doing
and-
the same thing.
And now I look at Jack and I'm like vomiting. I can't even do a shot. I'll vomit all over the place. So I try not to drink these days unless it's socially. And if it's not socially, I'm probably not drinking.
Dude, the thing is, I don't even have the desire, even socially.
Yeah.
I mean, one, obviously, it definitely screws up games when you doing bodybuilding and all that, but
Yes.
you know, that aside, just the physical aspect of it, like I can't even stomach the thought of like even drinking at this point, because like my hormones must have changed because I don't even like it.
Yeah, I don't have the taste for it.
Yep.
I used to have the taste. Like I used to look forward to it. That's when I knew it was bad. Because I'd be on the bus or I'd be driving home from the city.
Oh, dude.
And I'd be licking my lips thinking about that.
Well,
frozen
you also gotta
glass.
keep in mind how much freaking pain your hip was in at that point too.
Oh yeah, I was dealing with the hip. I was sitting all the time, so it was only getting worse.
Yep.
You know, and I eventually looked at Will and I was like,
And that's like running all over the store too didn't help matters.
yeah, Port Authority was a big.
Oh, dude.
And not even just that, I was running all over the city. We were everywhere.
Both of us were.
Every day it was a meeting, it was a this, it was a go here, it was let's grab lunch, it was a grab that, and that was the city thing. I should have known that from the first day me and Will were there, and we got dinner with their bosses and Matt at the time. And I remember we went out to dinner and had cocktails, and I was like, "What the fuck is this about?" I was like, "Aren't we supposed to be working?" And
Here we are.
Matt looks at me and he goes, "Welcome to the city," and I was like, "Oh, this sounds fun." And then every day it was just like a party. It made no sense. But
Yeah, I made the city time my own little party. Dude, nothing beats the taco stands me and Will were going to.
I made tacos while I was out in Joshua Tree.
What
And
kind of tacos?
I hate tacos. But I made them
How do you hate tacos?
because I have respect for myself.
Dude, tacos are like the awesomest thing ever.
When I was younger, my dad was he was very simple, right? So I saw my dad on the weekends as a kid, and our options usually were steak,
Okay.
chicken nuggets, and French fries.
Okay.
You can only imagine what the third one was. Tacos.
All right. So now I have a little more clarity.
Yes, I grew to hate tacos. I don't know that I didn't like the tacos. I just know that my dad wanted me to eat them, and I didn't want to, satisfy his need to make me eat them. So, not crazy about the tacos to this day.
Gotcha.
I will eat them though. I did make
I
them.
like the fresh homemade ones, like the real tacos.
Like, what's that considered? Like, because I think I made homemade.
Like, I mean, look, the places,
I got chopped
the
meat,
spots
I
that me
got
and
the
Will were
onions.
hitting, like they were making their own, what do you call it, wraps?
Yeah.
Like they were, like making everything from scratch, like that they can. You know, nothing was really store bought. Like,
Oh, that's why Will told me homemade tacos. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean homemade tacos, Will? I was on the phone with him at like midnight the one night in Joshua Tree. Will is my old boss. And he said, make sure you get homemade tacos. But on the West Coast, they have something called mamacitas or something?
Yep.
I think. Mamacitas? Anyway.
probably.
It was dead. Every single one I drove past while I was in Cali was dead. Nobody was in the drive-thru. No one was there. It was like, yeah. But
Well, they're all probably tacoed out.
yeah, that was the last thing I was thinking. The first thing I was thinking was they got cockroaches. Nobody wants to eat there.
Dude, that's protein.
I went there. I was very impressed. I just got some simple tacos. I was very impressed. I was actually all around with that trip out west was very enlightening because. I don't know. I love the East Coast. I love New Jersey. I love flying into EWR. It smells like shit. Everyone's pissed off. And something about that is home to me. I'm like, oh, everyone's in a bad mood. I love this place. And I feed off of that. But in the West Coast, everyone was really just in a good mood. I don't know if it's
Was
just...
everybody high?
Well, I started to think, was everyone just stoned? You know?
Dude, some of the stuff that you came up with out of that dispensary.
Oh, yes. dispensary.
you gotta tell the
The-
story about the edibles.
Oh yes, I played with some edibles while I was in Joshua Tree. The last time I was in California, I made the same mistake, and I was absent for 2 days on that vacation last year. So I said to myself this time, I said, hey, it's legal. Let me check out what they got, right?
Mm.
So I'm in Santa Monica. I just walked out of a Target that's literally the size of like a typical house. It made no sense. It was a Target. Yeah. Anyway, it was really cool. Santa Monica, not a lot of space, so they got to do what they can.
Mm.
So I walk into this dispensary, and I looked at the guy. I said, honestly, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I'm not like, I'm not like one of those guys where I need to be fucked up all the time, but like, I do enjoy it because it makes me think differently and see things differently. And if anyone knows me, I'm always trying to improve the way I think about things. And, I got some edibles, Ira. In fact, I got a lot of edibles. I wasn't able to.
You weren't aware how much the edibles were.
Yeah, I did enjoy one night out in Joshua Tree of not knowing exactly what was going on or where I was. There was a point where I really wasn't even sure where I was. That's when I knew it was bad. So I did what any normal.
You on top of the bushes in there.
That's what life is about, though. You have to do these things.
Hyperventilating.
Oh, I was laying on the bus, upside down, and I wasn't hyperventilating because I'm not like, even though I had every reason to be paranoid because I had all these edibles in me, I couldn't differentiate, reality. I had every reason to be paranoid, but I wasn't. Not that night. I think it was the following night when I had something else going on. And I looked up at the stars, and man, something about the stars, they just shine fucking brighter over there. They just shine so bright. Nothing, you can't go anywhere on the East Coast where they shine the way they do in the West. They just don't, man.
Well, I'm sure
the
it's
moon
a much clearer sky, too.
Yeah, the moon is gone. You don't even know where the fucking moon went. The moon leaves. It goes, it leaves town. It skips town, it's out, it leaves the stars.
So it's just pitch black.
Yeah, and the coyotes the whole night.
Oh, yeah.
They don't do much howling, but they do a lot of talking. But I did some edibles, and I had a out of body experience. At one point, I did say, "Where am I?" that's when I knew it was bad. But that's what life is about. There's nothing against that. A lot of people look at me and they're like, "You do that stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" They're like, "Well, you have a business and stuff, and priorities." And I'm like, "Oh, can you not balance having fun and enjoying your life with like?"
So that's a concept that I had to learn.
I have yet to understand how to take those edibles. So if anyone understands how to eat edibles without overdosing on edibles,
By reading directions.
well, I didn't know it was 15 servings, Ira.
Because you didn't read.
Well, you're right. I just thought, let me take a bite. I should be fine. And then I looked at the package later in all of my glory and said, "Whoa, 15!" I was like, "Oh." Then
you call me like, "Dude, I'm gonna be so fucked up. I messed up bad."
Yeah, I messed up bad. I can admit guilt. I fucked up. There is nothing wrong with admitting when you're wrong, and that was.
Oh, that was it.
That was a hell of a time. So I am looking at my next trip. I'm not sure where I want to go.
Let's see. Why don't you go to Russia?
I did USSR, right?
Sure.
Just see what's going on over there. So Ira, we're putting out our episode. What episode is this? 20? Is this 20?
It's 20.
We're not going to be back for a month.
That's a while away.
That's kind of upsetting.
Actually, if you think about it, really a month isn't that far off.
A month goes by like that. It's
dude.
crazy.
Once you start getting older, your time actually goes much faster. Like I go to work, I come home, and that little window of just the peace enjoyment, like I go to sleep and then I wake up and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Or on my days off, and this happened yesterday, I don't know where the hell the day went. I did a couple things, but it just seemed like it took all day, but it didn't take all day. It was a couple hours, and then the whole day's gone. It's like, what the fuck?
I know, I try to do a really good job at controlling my time. I try to always be conscious of my time, but man, just thinking about my birthday recently kind of reminds you of your life and everything. You're like, wow, this is real. I'm 26 now. Just yesterday I was 15 and I was walking through middle school or something, and I look at my little sister and my niece who are now 14 years old, and they're talking to boys and they're going to homecoming, and they got all these things going on, and I'm like, wow, to be young again.
Yeah.
To be young again.
I relived a lot of it, when I was inside and everything, and I do my meditation and all that. I did a lot of just reflecting back on, experiences in life. That's how I coped with my time.
Yeah.
And as much as I hated school, I never appreciated the fact of why I hated it. I hated it because I wasn't stimulated, because most of the shit in the work was too easy for me. And so
the schoolwork was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things, I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I flunked out of my first high school because I just didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to horse around and play around and just be an asshole.
I did the same thing, but I genuinely was not intelligent.
My second school, dude, every single month I was student of the month. And then I get kicked out of that one. My third school, that school was so cool. That school was so cool. I played ping pong all day for people's shoelaces. They were walking around tripping over their own feet because we weren't allowed to gamble for money. And so I found the loophole, so I was allowed to gamble for shoelaces. Yeah.
How did I find you? How did you find me?
I think I discovered you.
Sometimes I forget
Or we could just call it inertia.
Inertia. We'll call it inertia. Sometimes I forget I was in school. I remember thinking about it now that we're on the topic. I remember being expelled from school twice.
Yep,
I
me
was
too.
expelled. And I remember, and this is kind of maybe a big portion of why I like the idea of early childhood development, because back then I didn't have role models. I didn't have anything. I really didn't, and that wasn't my fault. I was just a kid.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find my way, and a lot of kids experience that. I know you feel that 100%. But yeah, I got kicked out of school, and I'll never forget. I noticed it a lot when I was dating girls, because their parents fucking hated me.
Oh, dude.
They hated me, and I didn't know why. I just know they hated me. So growing up now, I always think of my ex-girlfriend Skylar, Kayla. Their fathers wanted to murder me. But now that I'm older, I understand it.
Yep.
And when I was younger, I didn't really know anything. I was full of emotions and yada yada yada. And now I always told myself, and I always think of those two guys, those two fathers, growing up, I have to do better. I have to prove those motherfuckers wrong. Seriously, they're irrelevant. They don't mean anything to me, but I always in the back of my head was I never will forget the way they would look at me, you're a scumbag.
And you're inside, they're just you're so damn wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. I'm just a young kid that's misguided, and if you had half a brain, you would know. Hey, you let me give this kid some direction. But again, it wasn't their job, so.
No, it wasn't. And the thing is, though, is I went through similar experiences myself.
Yeah.
I was just very misunderstood. And, this was at a time period where, ADHD and depression and bipolar and all that, it wasn't so widely accepted, and it was more so shoved under the rug, and if you're unmedicated, you're just a nuisance.
Were you dealing with, because a lot of my problems with thinking didn't occur until later on. When I was younger, I was really just a batshit crazy-ass, punk-ass kid. Mm. Were you dealing with, the depression and all those weird things when you were younger?
So, I battled it my whole life, but the thing is, I didn't understand it in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. I thought that I was normal, the rest of the world was just weird. And the thing is I knew, ever since I was a little kid, I get hyper. I didn't know it was hyperactivity disorder.
Yeah.
It was just, I just thought, okay, I just have this extra energy that other kids probably don't.
Yeah.
And I piss people off a lot, and it makes me laugh, and it's funny.
You were that kid,
Oh, no, I was definitely that kid. I'm still that kid.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You like my hair? It's getting long.
Oh, it's definitely getting long.
It's getting long. I was thinking, once it gets long enough, to your point, I think we should cut them.
What, cut the twat nuts?
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to, but I'm definitely gonna once it gets long enough.
I've crossed that bridge. I surfaced the idea, thinking about it, and that. Look. The thing is, there was no real rhyme or reason why I grew mine. It was just something different. I was evolving into a newer version of myself.
So there was a reason.
Well, it wasn't set in stone. All right, this is why I'm doing this, and that. It was something different.
Yeah.
And my hair was short, buzz cut for so many years. Either I was bald, buzz cut, had a big ass beard. I just did a bunch of different things. But the one thing I didn't do was grow my hair back out. Because dude, I haven't had hair since I cut out my blue brazen dreads.
Yeah, I had very big convictions around growing my hair out. It was the rising of the phoenix.
Yep.
I had gone through so much that I said, I want to myself, this is my commitment. I'm going to grow my hair out. It's going to be a commitment to myself, and I'm going to keep it to myself. And I'm going to do it because I need something to hold on to right now. I had nothing. I was going through really, really, really
something
dark
that was
things.
Just 100% wholly yours.
Yeah.
And couldn't be diluted by anything else in the world.
Yeah. So where I was going with that, I was thinking for Whiteboard Worthy, because everything I do on a personal level pretty much is for Whiteboard Worthy. Whiteboard Worthy is my life. It's very simple.
I was thinking once it gets long enough, and I'm going to grow it until I can't deal with it anymore, right? I want to cut it and donate it to the kids' cancer society, because the kids they go through chemo, they have no hair, and they use those donations. So that's something I want to do. I was thinking maybe it was something we could do together. That's if you want to get rid of yours.
I mean, eventually I'm probably going to end up cutting it. Yeah. I mean, it's literally become my trademark at this point. So
I know. I don't think you should cut it. People look at me. I ran into someone the other day, and they didn't even know who I was. I didn't know who they were either, but they were like, Anthony, and I was like, hey, who are you? You know, and you don't know. You're just like, hey, how's things been? And like you're going, you know, there's that SpongeBob episode where like he's going through all the files in his head, and the brain is melting and it's on fire. That's what you do.
That's what I do like on a regular basis. You've witnessed this so many times.
Me too. It's true. But believe it or not, Ira, we're approaching the end here, so it's crazy. I'm gonna cut us a little short because this is our first day with the new setup, and I'm fucking exhausted.
Oh, dude.
You're yawning. I think Carter's asleep on the floor back there. That's all right. We still love him no less. But for anyone again if you have not followed, the podcast is staying. We're not going anywhere.
No, we just had some time lapses, but for a good reason.
Yeah, we're busy. But if you guys want to catch us, we're going to be doing episodes once a month. Maybe if we have time, we'll squeeze in one more. But once a month, we can guarantee we want to do the episodes. And that just lets us still live our life and not stress over doing the podcast, because the podcast is meant to be fun and just a hobby for us, not an obligation that stresses us out. So if you haven't already, make sure you follow and subscribe to us. Hit that little ringer so you do get notifications when we do release new videos. And make sure you follow us on TikTok at OB Podcast, and you can go see Ira screaming in the car like a crazy banshee, which is always entertaining and cringy all at the same time. Any closing thoughts for... Are you okay? Pull it together, damn it! The hell? I'm gonna leave you here. Look at you.
I'm having a giggle fit.
Yeah, you're bright red like a tomato.
So,
any closing thoughts for us?
Closing thoughts.
You want to just sit in silence, maybe?
No, I mean, just don't turn your windshield wipers on when the sun's out.
Oh my God.
No, I made that mistake and almost crashed this morning.
People used to say, who used to say to me, it creates prisms, and I'd be like, what do you mean it creates prisms? Yeah, because as soon as you do it, the sun glare and the water, it fucks everything up. Okay, I think there might be something there. I'm not entirely sure, but
I'm sure we could pull some artistic metaphor out of it. I know I can.
I'll bring us home. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next month with a new episode, and we are so excited to have you. Again, if you haven't, make sure you follow and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.